Hi, this is Pat Barrett at Women's Radio 2. Welcome. And I'm so happy to welcome back Christine Baumgartner to Women's Radio. Poor Christine has been sick with the flu and then pneumonia, and she's not the only friend I have that's been sick. And we were talking about why in the world so many people are sick. But some of it, not all of it, but some of it probably has something to do with our lifestyle and how busy we keep ourselves and hard to give ourselves a break in between major activities like all the holiday stuff, etc. So we're going to talk about giving ourselves a break. Welcome, Christine.
Hi, Pat. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
I know it's such a pleasure to see you too, and I'm so glad you're looking and feeling so much better. I'm sure that you still have a little way to go, but you sound good. You look good, so that's great.
I can tell I'm officially on the mend now.
That's great. And what did you learn about giving yourself a break through all of this?
Boy, it was enforced downtime. I had no choice. I could not stay upright. It was so weird. I told people it felt like being the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, and they pulled all the stuffing out of me.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
I remember.
no energy, and I was so achy and so tired and no appetite. And for a couple days, I just felt so sick I couldn't even think about it. And then for the next couple days, when I still felt bad, not as sick, I thought, all right, what's the lesson here? What am I learning? And it was very much enforced downtime. I mean, I could truly do no work, no house maintenance, canceled all my plans with my friends. I fed my cats. That's about all I got done every single day. And it made me really appreciate, if this is the extreme my body says it has to go to have me take a break and give myself downtime, how will I now go back to scheduling when I go back to my regular life, scheduling really regular downtime, really regular off time? And it's funny how we'll say, well, I sit and watch TV. That's good. And I scroll on Facebook. That's good. And how fulfilling is it? And I'm not saying it's not. I don't think it's enough fulfilling to be the only things. So how else can we give ourselves and encourage each other, especially women, to have some downtime? Because I do tease that, because I'm a coach and I talk to men and women all the time, and we misunderstand each other a lot because we have these different ways of living, that women are aghast that a man could sit down on the couch next to a pile of clean laundry, unfolded laundry, and fall asleep, because we never could do that. The laundry, I used to tell my husband that the pillows talked to me when they weren't straight, that I needed to put them back in order and they would shut up. And I think because we're so driven by everything has to be done before we can give ourselves a break, we are very driven to not give ourselves downtime. And men drive themselves as well. And I found that generally men can plan in breaks better. They don't feel guilty. I think that's the thing that happens for women. The world is going to stop spinning if I'm not juggling all these things all the time, every minute. And I learned my house is still standing, even though I spent a lot of time between my bed and my couch, and it's still here. Thank God for Instacart. I actually could order some food, but I didn't need, and I think of the things that I do during the day, and is that really how I want to spend my energy right now? So thinking about, is a nice walk, or just, my mom used to just go outside. She was always hot and her feet were hot. So she'd go outside and stand in the cool grass at night and just look at the stars and breathe just for 5 minutes. I know she had a very demanding job. Besides raising kids, she had a job outside the house, and she drove a long ways, both ways to go back and forth to work. And she made sure that she had that kind of centering, fill you up emotionally, mentally, physically,
Yes.
downtime regularly. So I need to go back and practice more of what
I
my
was
mom
going to
did.
ask you, so now what are you going to do?
Mhm.
Have you decided what you're going to give up and what you're going to add?
Yeah, I saw a thing on Facebook. I reposted it that said, if you're spending things on time that aren't important, it's not leaving enough time for the things that are important. So figure out what's important. So what's important to me now is to even more regulate my life, that I'm spending more time outside. Because right now I'm between volunteering, which took me outside to do things with horses, and
Good.
I am missing that. So I need to add
There you
another
are.
thing. So I've now lined up some podcasts that I'm going to listen to and go for a nice walk.
Oh,
I'm
great.
going to work in my yard at least once during the week and not just wait for the weekend, because I like picking out the weeds and tying up the flowers. So I've been making a plan, even though I haven't been able to implement it yet because I'm spending my physical energy getting well, and really putting it on my calendar, because that's the thing too. We always go, I'm going to get to it later. I'll tell you, I hardly know anybody that will skip over something they put on their calendar. If we put an appointment that's important with a business associate or a doctor's appointment or something we want to go to that's an entertainment thing, we generally keep the appointments that we've written, typed in our calendar. So I've now put my downtime in my calendar and
Oh,
not
that's
just
really good.
waiting for it to happen. Because I'm really good at going, oh, my phone says go do this. Okay, go do that. And I wasn't very good at, I'll get around to it. I'll do it in an hour. And then 3 hours later, I didn't go do it.
You
But if
didn't
I
get
put it on
around
my
to
phone, say it
it.
again.
You didn't get around to it.
I didn't get around to it. That is so the truth. I am guilty of that. And I know people who also, and I always seem to get around to it when it's written on my phone.
Me
So
too.
I've decided I'm going to schedule downtime. That's my new mantra. What are you going to do, Pat?
Well, very similar. I felt like I'm just not getting out breathing fresh air enough. So I am really trying, as long as the weather will allow, to get out and take a nice little walk every day. And around here, there's so many trees, and I just love trees and nature, and it really does fill me back up. I think you've got to just get different perspectives, and um, not too far away is a little lake. It's very pretty. Sometimes I'll go down there, walk
Oh,
around close to the lake. Um, I have gotten addicted to a couple of ongoing TV shows, and I never ever do that. So that is real downtime for me, because I get completely out of myself and out of my head and away from all the things that, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And I know that I am actually not so unlike other people. I think we just get into a habit of, well, I've just got to fill this. I have so much to do, and I've just got to do it as fast as I can and stay on course. And sometimes we just drive ourselves into the ground.
mhm. I think that's partly what happened to me.
And then how can you have good relationships with other people if you're tired and aggravated because everything isn't falling in place just right? I mean, it doesn't help you have a happy life. It doesn't help you have good relationships. And if you value those things, I think you just have to at some point say, I need to think about me.
Mhm. I think that's very true. Very true. And as you so eloquently said, that when we leave the stuff that we're going to get around to, the stuff that takes us away, that lets us recharge our battery, when we maybe do finally get around to it, we're almost too tired to even enjoy it. You might not enjoy your TV show as much. You wouldn't enjoy your time out with your friends, because it's a double-edged sword that we're tired because we've overdone, and we're still caught up in there's still so much more to do. I talked to somebody once and they said that we always tease about what are you reformed from? Because we can be
That's
kind of zealot about that. And she said hers was that every dirty piece of clothing and stuff, fabric in her house had to be clean at the same time. And somebody pointed out to her that she's wearing clothes. So it can't all be clean at once. And she went, oh, I guess that is unattainable. I thought that was really helpful because we set ourselves up to be unattainable, unrealistic goals and that's I think the one of the biggest interfere things with downtime is we think there's always more to do. We don't have time to
there
be
is.
down.
Well, we live on planet Earth and there is always more to do. I mean, certainly, I don't see how anyone can be bored. I've never understood how anyone can be bored. There is so much to do, so much to do, even if you're just in your own little house. And there's always something to do.
But balancing, what do you give out, and do you feel good about it, and are you getting
Right,
back from it, and then
right.
what do you allow to just give back to you? And Mother Earth, just having a conversation with a tree or touching a tree, knowing that those roots are really strong down into the ground and the crown is up into the father sky. And I mean, really, no matter how woo-woo or spiritual you are, if you just think of that, how long it's been growing and how healthy it is, and that there's all this happening inside of it with the sap and the leaves and what season you're in, just to give yourself 5 minutes to turn off your brain and really relate to smell flowers or hug a tree or stare at the sky and appreciate being alive. I've lost three very, very important people to me in the last few months. I mean, the last one I've known for 50 years, over 50 years. And so they don't have the privilege of waking up the next day. And because I do, part of my mantra now is to make sure I'm enjoying parts, like really enjoying fun, recharging downtime every day for
Right.
myself and to honor them. One of those, when people die, that it gives you kind of a wake up call of, we don't know how long we're here.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so and I've heard from my Jewish friends that when you go to heaven and you hang out with God, he says, did you make sure you had a good time?
I like
Yeah,
that.
I thought that was a really cool rule.
Well, one of the things I've really gotten into is a lot of alternative ways of, uh, it's not just an alternative. I mean, I've listened to people who have scientific basis of saying that all of life is all about vibrations. And so if you're not practicing, how shall I say this, being in a good state so that you're not frenzied, you're not depressed, and so forth and so on, being in a good state, then you're not utilizing your time here on planet Earth very well.
Mhm.
So, I have stopped doing some things that I used to do a lot of because it doesn't put me in the best state, and I don't feel like I'm being the most contributing that way. And I think for me, that's important. Now, maybe that's not as important for other people. Everybody has different goals, and we're all born differently. But I have to feel like I'm giving back or I'm contributing, and I'm doing it from a place where I have an abundance. And we talked a little about this when we got together this evening to do this. And for me, it's like writing and speaking and things of that nature. So when I have to do things with math or other things that I don't really like and are difficult for me, then everybody can do a little of those things. I mean, life isn't going to be 100% just in your corner, as it were. So I think a little balance is in order, and balance for me is doing more of the things that I like.
And when it's something we like, it often is easier for us. And then it's a good example for other people to go, oh, this thing I really like doing. Would you like to learn more from me? Because it's easy for me. And maybe I can help you make it easier for you. or
Right.
it helps them go, oh gosh, look what you do that's easy and it's really hard for me and I can't do that. So I'm grateful that I have you doing this in my life. So it's the adage where that it's so important to really think about when you get on an airplane and they make that announcement and they talk about how you put the oxygen mask on yourself. That if you want to keep giving back to your loved ones, to your community, to the country, to the world, you need to keep replenishing yourself. And one of the really good ways to replenish yourself is to schedule in downtime where you unplug, literally maybe too, from your electronics, as well as unplug from the stress and the worry and the overachieving, even if you like doing that, to now do something that takes you completely outside of it and recharges your battery in a new way.
Right.
I
Well,
hope
what
this
I'll be
isn't.
interested, I'll be interested in hearing from the people who are listening what they think recharges their batteries or what advice they would be giving their friends in that way as well. So I hope that people will take a minute, if you will, send us an email at womensradio@gmail.com. Let us know, what do you do? And how can we help make the world a happier place by all of us taking care of ourselves and doing things that we enjoy doing and making a list on our calendars to take some time for ourselves. Is that right, Christine?
Yes. And I would love to hear their suggestions because the collective is really powerful when we all get together with the same goal of helping people feel recharged, having productive downtime, having recharging downtime. I'd love to hear their ideas, things that they've come up with themselves, things that friends have suggested to them that worked, things they came up in a group setting. That would be so fun to get
I
everybody's
know.
feedback.
We can talk about it on another program.
Yeah,
Talk about
I
all
would
the
love
ideas
that.
that people have and are using. Well, that would be a lot of fun. So you guys, please do write us, womensradio@gmail.com.
We want to hear from all of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to come up with some more fun things to do together, I think.
Thank you. Always a delight.
Absolutely. And we'll
Let's
look
hear
forward
it for
to next
downtime. Sorry, what?
time. Yes, downtime. Hooray for downtime.
Yes,
Thanks again, Christine, for being with us. And I know that the audience is really enjoying it, as I certainly am. And
me
we
too.
will look forward to the next time. And so stay well, and we'll see you in a week.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.